So the impact of COVID-19 pandemic on well-being has the potential for serious negative consequences on work, home life, and patient care. So the ESMO Resilience Task Force collaboration put together a series of global surveys to see how oncologists are reacting and other oncology professionals across the world to COVID-19. So we did 2 surveys so far. This is part of a series, and survey 1 ran from the 16th of April to the 3rd of May 2020, and survey 2 ran from the 16th of July to the 5th of August 2020, so for around 2 weeks in each period. And our key outcomes of interest were well-being or risk of distress, burnout, and also job performance since COVID-19. So the ESMO Resilience Task Force survey is the largest COVID-19 survey series of its kind for the oncology workforce. This first survey had 1,520 participants included from 101 countries, and 2/3 of the responses were from Europe. What we found was that well-being and job performance since COVID-19 varied between countries and were related to the crude COVID-19 mortality rate. So as the crude mortality rate increases, job performance since COVID-19 decreases, and the well-being index scores increase, which suggest higher distress and poorer well-being. Then we looked at, in more detail with a series of regression analyses, looking at whether there are other factors associated with the key outcomes of interest. So for well-being, for example, participants with higher levels of perceived self-reported resilience, pleasant working conditions, those who felt valued by their organisation, men, those aged over 40, reported lower distress or better well-being. And the converse is true. So for example, those under 40 and women reported higher distress. Those working increased hours had concerns about training or their career development, self-isolating, reduced clinical trial activity, were at higher risk of distress. And so please refer you to the presentation for more details regarding other factors related to burnout and job performance. What was very interesting in this survey series is that we also compared, for the key outcomes of interest so far, results from survey 1 and survey 2. So in survey 2, there were 942 participants, and preliminary analyses show that even within a 3-month interval during the COVID-19 pandemic, more participants have reported risk of distress. So 25% versus now 33%, and also feeling burnout, 38% versus 49%. So in the latest survey, around 1 in 2 oncology professionals reported feeling burnt out from their work. But reassuringly, job performance is improving, with 34% versus 51% reporting favourable job performance since COVID-19. And what's of note is that we also did a longitudinal analysis of paired responses of over 250 participants, and similar magnitude of findings were found between survey 1 and 2. And finally, another important point in the results was we asked what participants felt would be helpful to either them or their colleagues going forwards. And 86% felt that flexible working would be of moderate or extremely helpful in terms of going forward, as well as other items of interest, for example, counselling, workshops, practical guides being helpful. So hopefully the importance of well-being in order to maintain the workforce and ultimately maintain patient care has been highlighted through this presentation. And I very much hope that individuals and organisations feel that addressing well-being is a priority. So increasing our understanding of the landscape of oncology professionals' experiences since COVID-19 is essential in order to do this, so that we can make evidence-driven decisions on how best to direct attention and resources in order to help oncology professionals going forward, as well as organisations. So hopefully the results that we present today, what we presented at the ESMO 2020 Congress, taken together with subsequent surveys, will help drive the resources and also the action plans that need to be taken, given the feedback we've had from oncology healthcare professionals. And the Resilience Task Force, one of the missions and what we'll be doing in the next few weeks is putting together what we've learned and also some recommendations and resources in order to help during this COVID-19 period, but importantly beyond.